It's Ray from Love Your RV and Boat. So I have an update for you from our boating trip this summer. This is from the very start of September, and we made our way up here, up Night Inlet to Glendale Cove. So this was a cool spot because we could actually view grizzly bears here. There's a lodge here, a Night Inlet Lodge, I believe it's called, and they do grizzly bear viewing there. But we were able to go up there in our boat and anchor in this cove, Glendale Cove. Down here is where we're going to go down in our dinghy. We just kind of hang offshore here, and the bears were out on the estuary feeding on, I think, sedge grass it's called. So we were able to anchor right about here, and we found a spot that was around 7 to 10 meters of water. I'll just show you on the chart. Yes, this spot right here. We kind of puttered in and looked around here, but it was pretty close to these pilings, and there was some kind of industrial stuff on shore. Over here is the lodge. It seemed a little bit tight down here, and we weren't sure how far it was going to dry. This is low tide. It dries all the way out to here. So this was a good spot. The only disadvantage to that was you're pretty close to the inlet. So when it got windy out there, we found we could get kind of like swells coming in, rollers coming in to rock the boat back and forth. So sometimes we had to put up with hours of that on the boat. Our boat will sometimes be sideways to that and kind of rock back and forth like a clown car. Anyway, in this video, we're going to show you a little bit of the views. It's really nice out here where we were anchored, turquoise, bright turquoise water when the sun was out. And we took the dinghy and puttered in here, and we were able to anchor the dinghy down here and watch the bears on shore and some other wildlife. So let's get to the video. Wow, good morning from Glendale Cove in Night Inlet. It was a pretty trip up here yesterday. Long trip from Quatsi in our slow boat, and the current was sort of against us, so we were doing about 5.5 knots most of the way. I think it was around a 6-hour trip. Very pretty, but a little bit tiring. For Anne, she had to sit and pilot the whole time. Anyway, she's excited because we're right in this cove that is home to a lot of grizzly bears. So we're going to take the dinghy in a little while and go into the estuary and see what we can see. Got a nice little anchorage here. We're kind of out at the inlet to the bay. Last night it got a little breezy out there and was sending in some rollers rocking the boat back and forth, but it calmed down overnight. It's not bad this morning. Over this way is Night Inlet Lodge. Really nice lodge. So people come by float plane and water taxis and stuff, and they stay there and they get tours of the grizzly bears and other things, whales and scenery, trips up Night Inlet to see waterfalls, that sort of thing. Fog should lift today. We'll get some sun again. Pretty decent weather. Last day of August 31st today. So we've seen this morning quite a few boats have shown up. Tour boats come in. And they bring their bigger boat and then they transfer to smaller boats. And they're in there kind of scanning around the estuary looking for the bears. tour boats have all left, so it's just Ann and I with the Grizzly and the cubs here. They're just on the estuary eating grasses. I talked to a guy yesterday and he said the salmon haven't shown up yet, so they're not up the river where they normally would be, so they're out here feeding on the grasses and stuff. Just barely see the two cub heads. There's one right there. Here's a look back the other way, out the cove. That's where we're anchored, way out there. Make sure vestry's still there, hasn't floated away. Vestry's out in the green water. Actually looks calmer where vestry is than here, actually. Wind must be funneling down this cove. Comes the baby. She's like, sorry kid, salad for breakfast again.
You're so funny.
Gorgeous scene right now. Sun's starting to really bleed through all the cloud, lighting up the estuary here. We've been just watching this grizzly mama with her two cubs. Well, are you a happy photographer now?
There's a grizzly bear and two cubs.
Yeah, it was worth the trip.
Yes.
Up night inlet. There, sometimes you see a boating smile. This is a happy photographer smile. Two of them fighting. See the herons? other mother came. It must be more dominant because this one booked it away with her two cubs. Or kind of maybe plovers. Oh, scared away. Like a specially designed boat, eh? Well, we've motored back up out of the estuary, back into the greeny water. It's beautiful. What a location for a lodge. Looks like our boat's still there. Wow, what a morning. Grizzly bear viewing on the estuary. Now we've come back to the boat. It's actually calmer here, out here, where the boat is compared to where we were right at the estuary. It was kind of breezy down there, but it's beautiful out here. Let's give you a look at our anchor spot here. Now that the fog is cleared out. Spectacular. Good morning from Glendale Cove, Knight's Inlet. An interesting sunrise today. Through the fog over there, looks kind of cool. Lots of wind last night and rolling seas. It wasn't really predicted to be windy, but there was a pretty good northwest wind blowing up the inlet. But the anchor held pretty strong here. Seems like this cove is pretty good holding bottom, mostly mud I would imagine. It's around 7:30 right now, not much action. I think we'll probably go down and check out to see if we can see some bears again. Well, we're back on the estuary. Second morning. Came a bit earlier this morning. It's pretty calm when the sun's coming out a little earlier. No bear spottings yet, but it's a beautiful morning. I don't see any big tour boats here. Just some of the lodge boats are out wildlife viewing. This way we spotted some gans or ducks up on a rock preening themselves. They scare them off. Well, the fog's all lifted up. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. There was 4 boats from the lodge here giving little estuary tours. But they've left. I guess it's breakfast time at the lodge. But no bears today. It's a lot calmer. Tide's a little higher. The sun's a bit muted. I was looking on the smoke map and there's some smoke from some forest fires coming out into the coast. Very quiet and pretty though. So I learned from yesterday, as the water here really shallows, it's easy to get stuck, and I was constantly having to paddle with the wind and current, so I remembered we had a little baby anchor for the dinghy. Let's throw that down and then we can keep the dinghy in place. Yeah, today the only wildlife is a heron, an eagle, some Canada geese, and some merganser ducks. And lots of little flies that like to stick to our white. Another load of guests. Must be quite the view flying into this place. There they are. Here's Mr. Bear with the cubs. He's looking at you, Ann. Is that Ed McKinnell? He's gonna stand up and look at you. No, he's looking right at us.